The Taxi Driver with 100 Secrets. Part 1. The Man Behind the Wheel. The rain had been falling for hours, thin silver threads cutting through the New York night. The city was half asleep, its heart still beating under the neon glow of liquor signs and flickering street lamps. Frank Delaney sat behind the wheel of his yellow cab, watching the raindrops chase each other across the windshield. His shift had started 12 hours ago, but he wasn't ready to go home. Not yet. He was a man built on routine. Coffee at 6 o'clock, cab washed at 7 o'clock, and the same route through Midtown and the Bronx every night. His colleagues said he was quiet, polite, dependable. But Frank Delaney had a secret. In fact, Frank Delaney had 100 of them. They weren't written down. They weren't spoken aloud. They lived behind his tired eyes and the calm, careful voice he used when he said, "Where to, pal?" Every passenger added another secret to the list. Part 2. The Passenger in the Black Coat. It was past midnight when she got in. He noticed her right away. Black trench coat, hair pulled back tight, dark lipstick that looked almost purple under the streetlights. She didn't meet his eyes when she said, "East Village, corner of Avenue D." Her voice trembled, just barely, but Frank had driven long enough to catch the tremors. He glanced at her through the mirror. Rough night. She hesitated. You could say that. The rain made the streets slick as glass. When they stopped at a red light, Frank saw her wipe something for her hand with a tissue. Red. Maybe lipstick. Maybe not. He didn't ask. But as the cab rolled forward, she spoke again. "You ever keep secrets, driver?" Frank smiled faintly. "Every day." She looked up sharply, her eyes dark and searching. "Good. Keep this one." When she got out, she left a black leather glove on the seat. Frank picked it up, felt something hard tucked inside. He turned it over and found a small, blood-stained flash drive sewn into the lining. Part 3. The USB drive. Frank should have handed it to the cops. But secrets, his trade, his obsession, had a gravity all their own. That night, in his one-bedroom apartment above a laundromat in Queens, he plugged the flash drive into his old laptop. Folders popped up. No labels, just numbers. Inside were photographs. Dozens of them. People he didn't recognize. Some looked alive. Some didn't. Then one face stopped him cold. Detective Henry Malloy, NYPD. The same cop who'd questioned Frank 5 years earlier about a missing person, the night Frank's own wife vanished. He closed the laptop, heart pounding. He hadn't thought about her in years. Anna Delaney. Sweet, sharp-tongued, with a laugh that could break glass. She disappeared on a Tuesday, after an argument that still echoed in his mind. No body, no wudvye, just gone. And now her old case was staring back at him from a flash drive left by a stranger. 4. The Secret List. Over the next week, Frank became a different man. He picked up fares by day and followed shadows by night. He traced the woman's pickup point to a townhouse on the Upper West Side. Boarded windows, mailbox overflowing. Inside, he found a room covered in Polaroids and newspaper clippings. Every photo was of someone Frank had driven. Every one of his passengers. He froze. Someone was watching him. Then he saw the wall in the corner. Names written in neat, tiny letters. There were dozens at first, then hundreds. The list was titled, "The Driver's Secrets." And at the very bottom, circled in red ink, was Anna Delaney. Part 5. The Detective Returns. When Frank came home that night, Detective Malloy was waiting by his door. "You've been busy," the detective said, stepping out of the dark hallway. "You know, I always wondered why a man drives for 20 years, but never talks about where he goes at night." Frank stayed still. "You're on that flash drive." Malloy's smile didn't reach his eyes. "You looked." The detective sighed, pulling a small pistol from his coat. "You shouldn't have done that, Frank. And it was supposed to disappear quietly. You were supposed to keep your head down." Frank's blood ran cold. "You killed her." Malloy tilted his head. "Let's just say, she found out too much about my business. But then, so have you." Frank's mind raced. The secrets. The passengers. The photos. Malloy wasn't just a dirty cop. He was the one collecting them. And the woman in the black coat? She was trying to expose him. Part 6. The Last Ride. Frank lunged before Malloy could fire. The gun went off, shattering a mirror, and the two men struggled in the narrow hallway. Frank slammed the detective's head against the wall once, twice, until the gun dropped. When it was over, Malloy wasn't moving. Frank stood there, chest heaving, blood mixing with rain. In the distance, he heard sirens. Someone must have called it in. He turned, grabbed his cab keys, and walked out into the night. The next morning, a yellow taxi was seen parked at the edge of the East River. The door was open, engine still running. Inside, a leather glove sat on the passenger seat, a blood-stained flash drive resting beside it. Frank Delaney was never seen again. Epilogue, secret number 100. 2 months later, a new driver took over Frank's cab. Same route, same number, 7D92. Late one night, a woman in a black coat climbed in. "Where to?" the driver asked. She smiled faintly. "Same place as last time." As the taxi pulled into the rain, the meter blinked on, and in the rearview mirror, the woman's reflection faded like smoke on glass. Somewhere in the city, a whisper moved through the streets. Every driver has secrets, but only one had 100. And maybe, just maybe, one more.